Hey friends, people say that children are a form of God. Then what happens when they grow up? Why most of the people they carry some negative emotions from childhood? What is that? And no matter how much motivation we get from outside that we should be positive, but it doesn't happen, right? So let's discuss about insights on inner child. What is this inner child? Srikanth Nukala, who started his meditation at very young age and he continued from 2007. So let's welcome our guest today. Srikanth, welcome.
Thank you, Kavita and PMC English for inviting me.
Thank you for accepting our request. And I'm so excited to discuss about this subject, inner child. Before that, I would love to know about you, your journey, and you being into this field. How did you continue meditation and how was your early childhood?
Yeah. Thank you, Kavita, for asking. Since my childhood, I always had this question: Who am I? Why am I here on this Earth planet? And all those questions. I used to ponder. I think a lot during my free time, even as a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old. And later, as I grew, I thought only children up to 12 are called children. After 12, teenage starts, then we become adults after 21. But later, when I met Brahmarshi Chakravarti Newton Garu and Lakshmi ma'am, Brahma Vidvarishta, both of them, and I was attending this workshop called Soul Coach training a program. Presently, it's a transformation program. Somewhere in 2018, then I came to know that something called inner child exists, and inner child is not about just children. Even adults have inner child in them.
Yes, yes.
So my experience during that time was enlightening, and I came to know various insights and knowledge and some information about this inner child concept, as Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi both traveled around the globe and met some of the greatest pioneers in inner child psychology and related subjects. So I am so much privileged, and I felt very lucky to have them as my spirit guides or gurus this lifetime, and really come into improving myself, enlightening about inner child and how to heal inner child. What exactly is this inner child? I just came to know mostly in the workshops of Newton sir and Lakshmi ma'am.
That's great. That's wonderful. Yeah, they conduct this program. So let's start with the subject. What is inner child first?
So, several people tell several things, and we have a belief system. Let me remember Jesus Christ, because he has told the best words about inner child. And let us remember one of his quote: "Unless we become children, we will not enter the kingdom of heaven."
Correct.
So he meant, as long as we are not like children, we don't become like children, we can't enter the kingdom of heaven. There is something very vulnerable, childlike, innocent, something godlike in us, which we call inner child. So, to put in just simple terms, or to put in one word, inner child is nothing but divinity.
Wow.
And as long as we don't remember that we are divine, we can't become one with the source or the creator. So, inner child is nothing but our divine selves.
Very beautiful. Yes, generally children they are always in this energy. You know, they are spreading some beautiful energy across. But once we start growing up, we lose that energy when we start taking something from outside. So how this inner child get wounded?
There are various factors influencing inner child and leading to the wounds. So, some of the reasons are when elders punish their children for not doing their homework, or for not following instructions. teachers being very strict in school and punishing them, physical and mental abuse, using harsh words while dealing with children, situations where you get hurt, where your sensitivity is not given a value. And there are many other factors as well where when you are so natural as a child, but people don't recognize that, whether at home or at school or outside when we are at relatives place. Every person, every parent is not perfect. So people only inner child is all about being unconditional, being so natural. But when we are born as infants, we are very natural, godlike, but we forget our true selves and we behave so naturally. So as we grow, we start going to school. So people, when they are young or when they are children, they love playing. So playing is part of inner child, playful, being playful and experiencing and enjoying this unconditional love. They are part of children. But parents take it in a different way. So how can a child be natural? He or she has to grow up, learn things, face the world. They have a different perspective of children. So unconditional love is all about being the way you love to be. One of the examples how the inner child gets wounded is when parents punish children, like beating, physical abuse, or telling negative words for small mistakes at school, using canes in olden days or even before 20 years or 30 years, even in presently, very few people are there where teachers use sticks still to discipline the child at school or home. Because of these, children get wounded. They can't forget these memories. It will take a lot of effort to heal these kind of wounds.
So, as you told about wounds, what happens exactly? Because when people or parents they does such activities, maybe punishment or any sort of such thing which hurts children, how they get wounded?
Every child is sensitive. That sensitive quality is inherent. For example, a parent is there, uh, mother or father. They give an instruction, please do homework, only after that I'll give you food. But the child loves to play. Let me play first and then go and do my homework. So instead of explaining that homework is important because tomorrow you have to go to school. So the moment the parent observes that the child is playing and not doing homework, immediately in a moment of anger, either the parent starts beating the child or shouting or yelling. So it will be a kind of shock. So somebody beating you, that too at a tender age of 5, 6 or 7. So child can't take it. Either they get shocked, they start crying, and sensitive children they can't forget for lifetime. So this is one example. And telling negative words. Let me take my personal example itself. In childhood, I was very thin. So there was something called body shaming done at school. My friend said, you are so thin," putting some names. And at home also, some of my relatives, he's a kind of weakling. So these kind of negative words really affected me. I started crying. I did not take that. So these kind of harsh words where children can't take it. So they go into the subconscious and they stay for some time. And whenever you remember that, you feel like crying or you are sad. So body shaming is another thing where most of us can't take it.
Yeah, body shaming and bullying at school, or even parents sometimes they compare with other children. So you said very well, and this is very much important for parents and teachers to understand, because let go about children. Even we, as a grown up, as an adults, sometimes we also feel that sadness. If something hurts badly, So just imagine how children must be going through.
Yeah, adults, even it's very difficult for adults to face these kind of comments like body shaming to any negative comment. So, how can you imagine children facing these kind of situations?
Right.
As you rightly said, Kavita, it's very tough for children at a very tender age, like starting from 3, children start speaking and starting to understand, trying to understand things, what's happening around the world. They ask questions. So, parents' role is very important in taking care of children in a positive way, in a loving manner. They should understand the value of what is unconditional love. So, parents are not perfect. Parents are like that because their parents, their previous generations were like that.
Yeah.
So, identifying what exactly is a perfect way to understand the other human being, how to respect the soul in the other person is very crucial to respect the inner child within us, and giving the freedom, respecting the freedom, maintaining boundaries, trying to understand instead of giving a lot of knowledge, always giving instructions, do this and do that, will always affect and impact children, and they can't achieve their goals if too much of instructions are given. So I want to share a quote of Ralph Waldo Emerson: send your child to the schoolmaster, but it is the child who teaches the schoolmaster.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's not parents or teachers teaching the child. Precisely, when child is godlike, when child is divine, when child is so natural, it is he or she who is teaching how to live naturally like divine. And it's not parents or teachers who forget that we are divine. So it was a wonderful quote, and we need to remember that.
Yes, yes, that's really very very beautiful quote, and we should learn from children. The way they are always playful, they are very instant. If they get something good, they start laughing. If they get something painful, they start crying. They don't suppress those emotions. They don't suppress those feelings, and don't even carry forward. But as adults, we lost that inner child somewhere, right?
Yeah. So when we realize that we lost our inner child, so as we discussed that it's not that we are children only up to the age of 12. There is always a child within till we are dead when it comes to the physical life. This is very important and crucial to remember, and especially respecting children, their freedom is crucial, and coming out of this wounding state of inner child and how to heal them is important. And there are many ways to heal this inner child.
So, yeah, very well said that we can heal our inner child. What is the way to heal our inner child wounds?
There are several ways to heal inner child wounds, and the best way is meditation. So, the Anapanasati meditation, practicing it daily. So, parents and teachers have a responsibility of teaching children at a very young age. Even a 3-year-old child can start doing meditation, because when they are 1 year old or 2-year-old, they are very natural. And apart from meditation, taking children to nature places, trekking also helps good. So in nature we forget everything and we get one with the natural forces of earth. So trees, mountains, rivers, sides, and these are all like really healing. And non-dominant handwriting, where if right-handers start practicing writing with left hand, or left-handers start practicing writing or drawing with right hand, really helps to bring out the subconscious. So you can test, anybody can test. I'm a right-hander. I start writing with left hand or drawing with left hand. So it is different. We can check. So naturally, without any thought, you start writing with your right hand if you're a right-hander, and compare it with start writing with left hand and compare both. So there will be a difference. When you are writing with non-dominant hand, you express your thoughts without any fear, and there is no correction. And psychologists have done that. Even I have done that in Newton Sir's workshop. So writing with the non-dominant hand and checking with.
So, what is the effect of that? What, how our inner child won't get healed by doing that practice?
By writing with the non-dominant hand, we connect to the subconscious. So mostly when we are right-handers, it's like we are connected to something which is programmed by elders.
Right.
So we suppress our original state. We write, when we write with the right hand, it's more like what is correct, what is taught by others. When you write with the non-dominant hand, what you really love in your life, that comes out. That's very natural. You can test. The viewers also can test it. So writing with non-dominant hand brings out the suppressed emotions, and you can express more clearly. And attending workshops of experienced facilitators who have a lot of experience in inner child. I attended a lot of workshops of Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi, and came to know about various things and various authors who have done a lot of research and who have worked on children, especially attention deficit hyperactivity disorder patients. It attacks when kids are at a young age.
Okay.
So they are either hyperactive or they are non-expressive. There are some symptoms, different symptoms according to doctors. So meditation is suggested to ADHD patients, and there are a lot of other ways.
What are the reasons behind this ADHD disease or whatever the illness children have?
Frankly speaking, ADHD is found out in the recent past. Earlier, maybe 100, 200 years back, there's nothing called ADHD. As psychologists and doctors do a lot of research, so they can't take hyperactive kids. ADHD is about being hyperactive, talking unconnectedly. Some children really suffer. It is there, but for some children who are active, very active, they are misunderstood. So ADHD is found out when children speak unconnectedly. They don't stop even after the parents or whoever taking care of children.
I think they must be in their own world, and as we seen in the movie called Tare Zameen Par, the child was not ADHD patient, but he used to be in his own world. So that time parents need to understand, it's I think parents' duty and responsibility to understand them better, and I think parents are only gods for them. Someone else may not help them. Doctors may just give medicines, they may give a little bit of counseling, but they are not going to be with those children. So here, what would you suggest to parents how to take care of kids in such conditions, and not only for ADHD patients, kids, but for the children who are hyperactive, who are non-expressive?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Kavita. So, first we need to clarify and come to a conclusion whether a child really suffers from ADHD or not. Because some of the children, in some cases, they are misunderstood. Instead of being, they are very active and very natural and extra talented, they are misunderstood to be ADHD patients. So, identify, there are some symptoms like children speaking unconnectedly, they are like breaking things at home, not remembering things.
So, yes, Shrikant, this subject is very vast, but let's understand in a nutshell, and people may get little bit of understanding how to deal with ADHD kids.
So, first we need to approach experts who can really identify exactly is ADHD and whether the child really is suffering from ADHD or not. Kids who are extra talented are misunderstood to suffer from ADHD. So we need to take the child to an expert where he or she can genuinely and authentically uh, confirm and diagnose whether the child is really suffering from ADHD or not. And that's a part of healing process which an expert doctor will take care. And we should not judge children with ADHD, whether they are bad at studies or whether they have behavioral issues. We need to give them space and freedom and give them their space and unconditional love to get healed. Yes, there are ways to heal ADHD, and we need to approach the right doctor.
Right, right. Yeah, very well said. So, yes, we need to go first to the experts. After that, when we deal with normal kids, even as let's come back to our previous subject, inner child, how parents should treat their children, no matter, I mean, as you said, to not judge children. So, how they should behave.
When the children are born, so mothers or fathers approach their parents for how to bring this child, because it's new for them also. It's a new experience for them. Their children are bundle of joy when they're born and from day one. So we used to have grandparents at home earlier, 20, 30 years back. Now it's a challenge. So we have a lot of nuclear families, and of course, people once, parents, once they give birth to children at the age of 2 or 3, they put them in childcare centers and they go to their jobs. So parents have a responsibility where at least one caretaker should be there with the child. There are different ways to treat a child, not beating and understanding why the child, infant is crying. Suppose a month's baby is crying. It's a signal that either the child is hungry or there is a kind of health issue. So identifying whenever the child is crying is very important. And it's not only mother, it's also father has to take the responsibility of taking care of the child, especially from day one till they start speaking and start expressing. It is the responsibility of the parent, both the parents, that is mother and father, to take care in all the best possible ways and giving them unconditional love. And the best way of teaching is first living by example. So once the kids start growing, they observe their parents a lot first at home. If they go to school, they observe their teachers a lot. So if you want your child to listen to your instructions first you have to listen to your child. So if you want your child to take instructions, there is a way. You can sit and discuss instead of giving instructions, explaining things, importance of school, importance of knowledge. So there is a way. So instead of giving instructions or being an authority, there are ways where you become a friend and teach in a polite way, in an assertive way. So that's better. So people who are like at homes where parents are friends to their children, those homes are really like heavens. And they give unconditional love, and they teach the value of forgiveness. So forgiveness also heals inner child wounds a lot. Forgiveness is one of the best ways where you forgive and forget. So that happens where parents, when they have a relationship with their grandparents, so the kids observe.
Yes.
So whether if for example parents do mistakes, so grandparents, do they criticize or do they forgive? So that is very important. So children have to be taught this importance of forgiveness at a young age. So they will also, once they grow up, they become compassionate. So this is also one of the best ways to teach a child, by living, by being an example.
Yes, that's very well said. children always follow. They always learn what they are seeing, not what they are getting instructed. So, how teenagers should be taken care by parents? Because that is the age where they are getting so many changes in their body level, emotional level, and they go through a lot of challenges that time.
Yeah, during teenage, a girl should approach the mother and a boy should approach the father. And the father should explain his kid, that is boy, what happens to the body. Because father has experience, he has crossed 25, 30 something. Once during his teenage, what happened and what changes happen to a boy when they achieve puberty. The father should explain the boy and the mother should explain the girl what changes happens to her body and how to deal with puberty. So they have to take care, give them the insights, and also take them to a doctor if required. So during teenage, uh, they become rebels if you instruct too much. So if you criticize your child, especially during teenage, they get back to you and they become rebels. But instead, if you provide that unconditional love, sit and discuss being assertive, how to be assertive. If you can explain things in a friendly way, in a loving manner, they understand more. So, fear based emotions, where if you don't study, teenage also is a place where it's a deciding factor whether to go for higher studies or whether to go for job. And in this competitive world, teenagers have more stress, more demands are there. So, that's a time where parents should give them unconditional love. When they fail in their exams or get low marks in their college or plus one, plus two level, forgiving them and giving that confidence that as a parent, I am there for you, really gives a positive vibe to the child and they are ready to face the failures and come out of those failures.
Yes, yes.
So instead of criticizing, give them unconditional love. When they are good at studies, gifting them and not punishing them when they are undergoing a bad phase in the competition really helps the teenagers. And teenage also is a wonderful journey for them when you give that unconditional love, the unconditional space and the freedom to your child.
Very well said, because that is the age they need parents as a friends, and if they don't get that thing at home, they generally go into wrong directions or with wrong friends. They get into wrong habits. So thank you, Shrikant, for discussing all this beautiful subject and topics. Now let's come to your experiences. So, would you like to share your own experience of inner child?
Thank you, Kavita, for asking this because our experiences are more insightful than learning from others. Of course, learning and identifying that there is something called inner child really helps you out. And I am fortunate and privileged enough to know that there is something called inner child exists. So let me share some of my experiences. So in childhood, I was playful and I was given the freedom from my parents. My parents were almost near perfect, but as I grew, I realized that I'm not so expressive. I was very calm and carrying a peaceful aura, and I only loved play. But unfortunately, I had no playground in my school. So there was only study, study, and more study. So the only place where I used to play is at home, and that too with my younger brother and my elder sister. But the demands of school were dominating till my entire schooling when I completed my 10th standard. And when somebody used to comment on my body, when outsiders who came home or relatives, that body shaming happened and I used to cry. It happened a couple of times. So I felt I was very normal, but somebody comments criticizing on your body was very bad, and I took it very seriously. I was a sensitive child in my childhood, and I used to cry alone. But once I grew up and I realized this is something people are not aware. People do this body shaming because even they are there is a wounded child in them. So once I started understanding what is this and forgiving the other person, because if you don't forgive the person who has hurt you, it is affecting your health. It affects your health also. So body shaming and not having play, because when you are playing a lot, playing regularly, that really brings out the best talent in you. So that affected during my childhood, but later I realized and I understood the importance of play. And when I started attending Newton Sir's workshops, I realized the importance of forgiveness, because initially I could not forgive the people who hurt me. But later I realized through the insights shared by Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi, and I started forgiving myself and started forgiving the people who have hurt me. When I really started meditating, I could sense the wounds getting healed, that especially the subconscious mind. So when I sat in meditation, when I started remembering some incidents where my inner child is wounded, or when I realized I was not gifted this unconditional love, and when I realized that I have not learned this lesson of forgiveness, so all those memories uh, surfaced during my meditation, and that healing process started. So I never left meditation once I tasted the best thing of meditation, and started doing regularly since 2007. I started healing myself. Of course, it's a long journey. As Newton sir suggests in his workshops, there are various aspects, like starting from meditation to reading books of great authors and psychologists who have researched in child psychology and how to heal the inner child. So there are some books suggested. Some of the best are Krishnananda's How to Step Out of Fear, How to Face the Fear. These books are very good. And John Gray's book, The Child is Divine, and Rudolf Steiner, who has done a lot of research in child psychology and education. And he was an expert 100 years back, and that was valid during that times, and it is valid even now. So reading the books of Rudolf Steiner also helps us to gain some of the insights on inner child.
Thank you, Srikanth. Thank you for coming and sharing this wisdom. I hope it will help a lot of people to understand inner child in a better way. Thank you one more time for coming.
Thank you, Kavita and PMC English, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to share the insights on inner child.
Hey, friend, so please understand in a better way your inner child, where you got wounded, how to heal your inner child. Thank you for watching, and please like, share, subscribe PMC English. Please share this video with everyone. Thank you, friends.